Colin Furze.
No, this is loud. I said to the guy, is it loud? The guy, it is loud. Now this is a bit weird really, because I mean I spent all of my day in a shed on my own, and now I've got what, 500-600 people in front of me? God knows. Thank you for Birmingham. Thank you for coming out. I know you've not all just come to see me. There's a lot of other great stalls and stuff around here. And thanks to Nick, you put a good show on. This doesn't get organised on the weekend. So he's got remarkable calm actually this weekend, which makes me think he probably hasn't done this on his own, and he's got so many minions to do it. There we go. Okay, thanks for everyone that's come to see me. I've literally been stood in the corner since 10 o'clock, like talking to loads of people, shaking people's hands up. I can't believe I can still talk, I'm honest with you. They probably should have put me on at the beginning of the day rather than at the end. I don't know if tomorrow I might be able to get this far. Now usually when I do shows, I've brought various things. I actually said to Nick, should we start a pulse check on stage? But it turns out the more popular you get on the internet, the harder it is to get insured. So, anybody that we rang just said, no. We know who this person is. You probably know my backstory. I'll just give a little bit of a gloss over, because some of you aren't going to know who I am. So, and then we'll do like a big Q&A thing, so you can all ask your own questions, and we can take it all from there. So just as an overview, my name's Colin Furze. I run the YouTube channel, Colin Furze, because I started it back in 2006 when if you signed up for Facebook or MySpace or anything, you just put your name in. So not really thinking of the future, it's like Colin Makes or anything like that. So I've been doing it since 2006, the channel, and now I've nearly 8 million subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. If I was to blow my own trumpet, I do think it's the most subscribed channel in the world. I don't know, it might not be. Who knows? But yeah, so it's gone from strength to strength. And of course, when I first started it couldn't be a job. There was no AdSense program. I just used to make stuff in my spare time, film it, upload it. You guys obviously really liked it. And anyone that's ever uploaded a video onto the internet, whether it be YouTube or anything, if you get views and comments and people like what you're doing, it's like a drug. You know, you feed off it. You want to do more, so I kept doing more. Now, I used to be a plumber, which has sort of come in handy. If you go and have a look at some of the things in plumbing, there's quite a little bit of copper pipe, bits and bobs. You can tell there's a bit of an influence there. It's not left me too far. So, in my spare time, making projects, uploading them, the channel grew and grew and grew. And I think it was like 27, I got plucked from by Sky to come and present this TV show. And that was kind of a good excuse to leave plumbing, because the recession had hit. We've gone down to like 4 days a week, and then this TV show was like, oh, do you want to come and make some stuff on TV? I was like, yeah, come do that. So I went and did that. That was about 9 months' work. And then when I finished it, well, there's no point going back to plumbing now. It seems a little bit of a waste. So I've been doing this TV show for 9 months. And the great thing when you work on TV, you don't spend any money. You're literally living in a hotel. They pay for everything. So I had like 9 months' wages sat in the bank. So I thought I can feed on this. Put all the efforts into the YouTube channel, and then literally from there on it just went skyrocketing. And then here we are now, full-time YouTube nutcase, or whatever you want to call it. So then, where's my question microphone do? Do you want to do it? Do you want to do some microphoning?
What was your first invention?
My first ever invention, if I cast my mind back, I reckon, it was probably one about 7 or 8. I had a Meccano set, and I thought it would be a great idea to try and make a fake arm that I could put down my school jacket, and then I was going to go to school and try and make it look like I fell over and twisted all my arm around and broke it. So my mum actually helped me with this, so whether she thought it was never going to work or not, I don't know. But we had like a pair of her tights with some socks in and like a glove on the end of it. I don't know if I ever actually took it to school because it just looked terrible, and I remember just like practicing, laying on the floor, trying to make it look as worse as possible. So I think that was possibly my first invention. But other than that, I used to ride BMX flatland. There is a very early video on my YouTube of me doing that. And I designed this little device that went on the gyro, so both brake levers would work both brakes. And I think that's like the earliest thing that I actually drew. I gave it to somebody else to make. because I didn't have any tools or equipment, and they kind of carved it out for me. And it did work. So it all kind of started from there. Really. But when I was young, well, not that young actually, I wasn't allowed in the shed. My dad had this massive shed at the side of the house, and I wasn't allowed in it. So it wasn't until he passed away in 2007, which is where I could really start doing what I did. So if you've got kids out there, let them in the shed, because I'm probably like 10, 15 years behind where I should be in terms of learning to make stuff. Cool, right, got any more questions?
What's your favourite video?
My favourite video? Ooh, well I suppose it should be the one with the most views, but I like watching the bunker series. I built this massive underground bunker in my back garden. We basically quarried the back garden and we dug like a 3.6 metre deep hole, like dug it all up, built this big metal box in it, surrounded it in concrete and covered it back over again. And it's one of those projects where I know if it's going to be a good project if I'm a little bit nervous before I start it. Because I was kind of like thinking like, oh, there's like a point of no return in this project, where once Tom comes wading in with his digger and starts digging the ground up, I can't back out of it then. So there was this one day where we were taking the hedge back, we took the fence down, and I had this really nervous feeling in me. And then we dug the hole, and it's like you wake up in the morning and you look outside and you're like, literally, the garden is quarried. There's no going back there. Even if I decided, right, I'm not going to build the bunker anymore, we'll fill it back in, that would have just been twice as much work. So I think the bunker is probably one of my favourite projects, and it gets used all the time. It's quite large. It's got Sky TV, so I watched the Formula 1 with the MotoGP in there. My mate Rick uses it for band practice because it's like completely soundproof. And it's just a generally nice room to be in. We've never had any leaks or anything, it's never gone rusty. People keep asking for updates on it, and there's nothing to update really. It looks exactly the same as it did when I made it. So I'm hoping to do some more little things or some extensions and additions to it at some point. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Right, anybody else? Have we got any? It's on it.
So Colin, of all your vehicles and devices you've used to fly around in and go upside down, which is the one that scares you the most when you try and ride it?
The hover bike was pretty scary because it just wants to kill you every time you start it. The nerve-wracking thing about the hover bike is, I mean, it only just worked. It's basically two paramotors on a frame facing down. I mean, it's the sort of thing that you just think, oh, I'll get two of them engines, you know, they produce 60, 70 kilos of thrust. I weigh very slender 80. So I thought, two of them will get me off the ground, surely. And then you get on it, you know, it revs up sort of thing, and then it lifts off. And it's really nerve-wracking, because on a motorbike or a bicycle, if you start to feel a bit weak, you just put your foot out. Whereas on that, if you took one foot off it, the whole thing just went, wah! And would disappear off to the side, and then you're stuffed, and there's no brakes because you're not touching the ground. So there's one shot in the video where it got off really well and it started to lurch forward. It was like the best it had ever worked, and it was terrifying because I'm like, I don't know how to stop this. I had two brake levers, which are like front and rear engines, which are literally just pinned flat out because it only just got off the ground. And I had to keep telling myself, right, if you want to stop this or crash it, just let go of the rear engine so the tail drops down. But me, clearly, you know, too much to think about the road time, I just panicked, couldn't remember which one was the back one, so I just let go of both of them, and then it just crashed into the ground. But, you know, we got a great bit of fudge, so it didn't matter, it was win-win. But yeah, hover bike's pretty scary. And then the 360 swing, I built this huge 360 swing which goes upside down, and it was a bit like, you know when you buy a tent, you lay it on the floor and you look at it and you think, well, that's not very big. And then you put it up and then you get it in it. It's quite roomy in here. 360 swing, just built the biggest triangle we could. And I looked at it and thought, yeah, that'll be all right. And then we stuck them up in the garden, and I looked at it and I was like, Rick, that's halfway point. It's at the top there. I'm going to be twice as high there. I did have a bit of a nervous moment thinking, oh, what am I doing here? But it's not actually that bad. Once you've done it once, it's okay, it's quite nice. As nice as it could be. Go.
How many days did it take to build the Hulkbuster thing?
The Hulkbuster, I think it was about 6 to 8 weeks. Now I started it at like the beginning of February of the year I was building it. But then I got like this really bad throat infection, so there was like a 3-week gap before I did anything else on it. And I think we filmed like the last bits of it like the beginning of April. But it was about 6 or 8 weeks solid. It was tricky because I'd never worked with hydraulics before. And every time you did something, you like put it all together, and then we went to lift the legs up, and of course the top bit moved before the bottom bit, so you'd bring the hydraulic shop up and be like, oh, we've done this thing, it really works really well, but we need it to go up simultaneously. And they'd be like, oh yeah, you need a flow divider, mate. And then it's like, yeah, they're like 300 quid each, and you only need 2 of them. So then you'd stick them on, and then you would sit there, and then it started to lurch forward, and then we realised we had like there was like fluid going from one bit passing into another, so it started to like kick down, so you bring the hydraulics up again, oh yeah, that works, but now it's starting to do this, oh you need a pilot check valve, mate, they're like another £100 each. It just seemed like we were just chucking money at hydraulics and stuff, but then we finally got there, and it's, you know, it's a brilliant piece of kit really. It stands up, it's nice and powerful, shakes you to bits inside of it, you nearly whack your head on it, but no, it's a lot of work. And God bless the plasma cutter for that. Couldn't have done that without that.
What was the most funnest invention that you built?
Funnest?
Yeah.
Ooh. The one I've had the most fun at. I'd say the drift trike. The little drift trikes I've made. If anyone wants a first project that's anything motorised, build the drift trike. Everything on it's really quite simple. The welding, the engine, it's all really, really basic. And then when it's finished, it is actually a really good lap. And it's really safe. Really safe. You can literally be bombing along at like 50 miles an hour, put it in a spin. I mean, I've tried getting mine to flip and it will not go over. So it's just spin. It's just not enough traction. So I'd say the drift trike. You need to get yourself a drift trike for Christmas.
Hey Colin, love the channel, love the content, thank you very much. How many times have you been arrested?
I have been arrested once. I got arrested, it was actually the shed that you see everything made in. It's nearly 10 years old, it'll be 10 years old next March, and the first thing I ever made in it was this flamethrowing scooter. And I made it went online, and the Daily Mail did like a piece on it with like saying, oh, don't tailgate this scooter, you know, because you'll get like flamed, which I thought was a brilliant story at the time. But then the next day, obviously somebody had rang up scared to the police, you know, there's this nutcase in town with this flamethrowing scooter. So I got a knock on the door, they arrested me, they confiscated the scooter, which you would do. And then I got, went to the police station, they put you in handcuffs and everything, you would sit in a cell. It was like the proper, like crime watch job. Interviewed me, let you go, and then there was this 3-week gap where basically they decide whether to press charges or not. So this whole 3-week gap, like my YouTube channel was getting some serious attention, but I had to private so many videos, because I'm like, there's a driving offence on 50% of my uploads. We've got trying to serve people food out of a caravan while driving along. We've got driving along in a pickup truck with a fire in the back. So there's me like absolutely shaking in the back of the police car thinking, oh, they can really shut the book at me. So I sat there in the back of the police car like, private. So anyway, so like for 3 weeks, so my YouTube channel was getting masses of attention and there was hardly any videos on there, there was nothing left. And then I went back and the guys basically said, they were all kind of laughing. Because I mean, there's probably some policemen in the audience here who watch my stuff, they appreciate it. So they stood there laughing like, oh yeah, nice work, just if you do it again, don't do it on the road outside your house. Just do it on a farm track or something. And I was like, all right. And I was like, where's the scooter then? What's happening with that? And they said, oh yeah, it's all right, it's at the pound, you can go and pick it up. So I went to this impound place. They brought it out, still had the flamethrower on it. And I was like, right, you've just been telling me that only the army are allowed to have these things and how naughty I've been for building this flamethrower, and now you're giving it back to me. I'm like, am I going to get rearrested down the road? But yeah, so it was a bit strange. But I actually contacted the police and tried to get licenses to make flamethrowers and everything like that properly. They didn't know what to do. So they ummed and ahed, they had people come out and interview me and stuff like that, and it was like, we don't know what to do, mate, because you're in a massive grey area that we can't seem to compute. So I was like, well, you're the same guys that are going to come and arrest me, so if you don't know how to make it legal, then surely you can't come and arrest me again. So, and I've never been arrested again since.
Hey!
Brilliant. But I'll just hide in my bunker! Cool,
What was your weirdest invention?
My weirdest invention? Well, it's probably this blooming tea making machine I've just made. It's apparently it's in the wrong order. So I'm going to settle this. I live in a very line scale heavy area, and if you don't put the milk in first, you end up with like a residue of scum on the top. So that's the main reason. I know you're all shaking your heads, but you know, just walk a day in my line scale field shoes and you'll change your mind. Where's the microphone, mate?
What do your neighbours think of you?
I knew this one would come up. It's kind of weird actually, because there's an RAF convention somewhere else going on here, and I'm worried it might be here. Mostly, they think it's brilliant. I've got a Polish dude who lives next door to me who just wants everything on full time. He's like, Colin, when are you going to stop the bus jet in the back garden? I want to hear it. And I'm like, come on, look, we can't do that, all right? I make complaints on the council. I don't care. Go to my garden. Sorry for that bad Polish accent. But yeah, mostly they're all very understanding. There's been 3 projects which have caused controversy. There's the big Star Wars 8080, didn't like that one. 360 swing, didn't like that one because they've got a hot tub, you see. So you can imagine, you know, you're coming out to relax in your hot tub and then the neighbours, whee! Upside down, how are we doing? And then the whole bust up, because there was about a week where we was trying to finish it, we was doing it outside, there was a lot of banging and grinding, which I did say, you know, apologise, it's too loud. So, but generally they're all very supportive. So, but then they don't know what's coming this year. Stay tuned.
Hi, I was wondering, are you able to tell us anything that you're making right now?
Well, I'm finishing the tea machine. Not changing the order, sorry. It's isn't it? Hopefully you can obviously hit 8 million subscribers very soon, if not next week. So for those of you who don't know, when I hit subscriber milestone, we do a big firework extravaganza. So I'm hoping that for 8, I want to make an 8 in the sky. So using some, I don't know if you've ever heard of a gyrandola. There's a very popular video that's been passed around the internet. I think it was shot in Thailand or something like that, where it's basically, I don't think the sticks, and they all bend down and light this thing, and there's just smoke everywhere, and then the whole thing just spirals up into the sky. And I've had so many people send me that video, going, oh, you've got to have a crack at this, and I think I am. So if you don't see that on my YouTube channel in the next month and a half or whatever, you know it didn't work.
Have you got any plans to upgrade the shed or your workshop?
This is a tricky one really, because a couple of years back I kind of thought, you know, when I started building bigger stuff and the neighbours started moaning about things, is do I go and get a bigger workshop? I've got the scope there, but I kind of feel like you people watching me, if I'm in a normal shed at the side of my house, it's more identifiable as something that you lot can all do. Now, my toolbox obviously has got a bit more exotic, 3D printers, the CNC plasma cutter and stuff like that, which of course, you know, not everyone can afford or have access to. But I've always felt that if I get a big workshop and have loads of people in there, it kind of loses the man in the shed vibe. And that's what I like really. I like kind of waking up in the morning, thinking of something stupid, walking outside the back door, and then making it happen. Whereas if I've got a massive shed and stuff like that, it feels more like a job, more like I'm going to work and stuff like that. So, you know, I like my shed. It's good. It's nice and warm. It's got 3 layers of carpet on the floor, which people don't understand. I love carpet. When I was a flump, carpet in my van. So it's nicer on the knees, you see, and stuff. So I'm quite happy with it. It's good. It needs a bit of a tidy up, I think, in certain places. It's got a bit, I mean, because everything that's happened in there, it leaves its mark. There's still cake on the ceiling from when I made this cake chucking machine. There's probably some raw turkey still from the turkey cooker. There's burnt patches where various things have gone off and stuff. So there's so many little stories all around it. I don't know if I can start from scratch again, but who knows? I'll wait till, it's his 10-year anniversary next year, so if there is a time to move on, let's do the 10 years in it, then I'm good, I like this shed.
Does the fact that you're filming your projects affect your creative process much?
It slows it down a lot, because it is just me doing it. I am the director, the editor, the filmer, the person that makes it all up. It's just me. There isn't like loads of people in the house doing all the social media and editing and stuff like that. I did it all myself. So there are some days where I wish I could just film it and not have to worry about filming it, because moving a camera around all the time is a bit of a pain, to be fair. But that's, I like it is just me, sort of thing. So if there is any problem or anything is wrong, it's all my fault, and it goes really well, and that's all my doing as well. But yeah, I mean, this is the hardest thing when everyone goes, oh yeah, I want to do what you do. There's loads of really creative people out there that can easily do what I do on a regular basis, but can they then make the video and stuff like that? And it is tricky, and it does slow you down, but I mean, it's part of the job, because without it, you lot wouldn't all be sitting here. So, I've got to embrace it, really.
What's your most dangerous invention?
Dangerous one? Well, judging by people's reactions, say probably the belt of knives. It did get me. Little mark here when. Well, it's a funny story really, because if I tell people, oh yeah, I've got a spinning belt of knives, and it caught me, oh, how did that happen? Oh yeah, my mate put a blow-up doll into it while I was wearing it. Bit of a weird one for the children. Yeah, that's probably one of my, even I feel a little bit on edge when I'm wearing that. So, the 360 swing, obviously the hover bike got their dangers, but that one does kind of make me a little bit tense when I've got it on. So, probably that one. And then for anyone else because I've only ever worn it, I've never been around while anyone else has been. If I ever see anyone else using anything I've made, it is quite terrifying. Because I know if something starts to rattle, whether it's, oh, we need to stop really now, because that will be the main thing that's going to cause this thing to catastrophically fail, whereas everyone else just gets on and thinks, oh, this will be fine, and off they go. But yeah.
On the subject of the hover bike, in terms of power and stability, any chance of turning it into a quadcopter?
We could. When Ford, the hover bike was commissioned by Ford, we did buy 4 engines originally, but I got lucky really with that project. It just, probably about a month after it went online, there was that one that you've probably seen that the Dubai police have got or something. It was like filmed in like a place like this, and then they've got, there's the German guys that did the bathtub. There's better ways of doing that project basically. To be fair, using a petrol engine, it's not the way forward, because you just can't control the speed of what it's doing very accurately. It just, you just get on it and pin it and then hope for the best. I think it has got problems, but I do want to have a go at a Mark II, but I would like to keep it as a 2, so it does look like a bike, because if I can get that to work, it just looks better. But we'll see, because it's, I like my legs, so.
Hi, how does your wife and kids deal with the things that you do within the house?
The kids, I don't know what the kids think of it really. I mean, they've grown up with it, so, I mean, Jake started school last year, and I think he found it a bit weird going into school and people asking him questions about me. And I did an assembly in his school, like the first couple of weeks he was there, they asked me to do science week or something. And I come in and did this thing, so I think he found it, he kind of liked it, but equally didn't understand it. All these people knew stuff about me, and he didn't know who they were. So he's kind of got used to that. Whether he'll end up picking up the tools and stuff after me, I don't know. I think he's probably going to end up being more of a coder, because he likes his computers and apps and stuff and things like that. There's quite a lot of kids do these days. But as the missus, well, she met me while I was building the Wall of Death. So it's not like she can say, oh, Colin, you're going to pack this in now or something. It's not like something I started one day and I've just continued. So she's always known that. But you know, she can't complain. She's, you know, she ain't got to work sort of thing. She's just chilling. So yeah, there you go. Who knows? Maybe there's other reasons she stays around.
What do you think, Colin, would be your favourite tool in your shed?
My favourite tool? What would be my favourite tool? Do you know what? When I bought the optical punch, I felt that was really good. So, little simple little tools, things, a bit like reamers. Reamers, you get these little things like spring punches as well. I went to work to Canada and I saw this guy called spring punch. I was like, what's that? So it's a spring punch, you get it from, was it Princess Auto or whatever sort of thing. I'd never seen one before, so I was like, go and get some over there. Tiny little things like that, because they've all got hammers and screwdrivers and stuff. There's little unique things that do things that you never saw about. Yeah, spring punches. Yeah, I'm going to say spring punch. Before you say that, a good drill bit set. Don't buy the cheap ones. Wasting your time.
What does the X mean on your shed?
The X on the shed was done from my X-Men project. This was way back in the early days, probably 2012 maybe, when X-Men Days of Futures Past, man. I'm a bit of an X-Men fan. And I kind of thought, like, you know, let's give myself some superpowers. So I cut that X out, I did like a little teaser video of what's to come. And then I made myself the Wolverine claws, which is, you know, a really successful video. That doubled my channel's subscribers in like a week, that did, brilliant. And then I made, which is probably one of my favourite projects, is my magnetic boots. Because I've got these, you know, metal plates on my shoes, ripped some microwaves and bits, got the transformers now. I've learned to make magnets, because if you try and buy electromagnets, you know, ones that will pull like 80, 100 kilos are like 100, 120 quid. And that was way out of budget back in those days. So then, you know, I found that you could make magnets out of microwave transformers, went to the tin. They just give me them. And I made these magnetic boots and then walked upside down in the shed. I mean, that's like the ultimate payoff. And I mean, it's funny talking about me and my missus. She come home one day, opened the shed door, and there I was, hanging upside down, kind of like half laughing, saying, can you pass me the stool? Because I tell you what, walking upside down is good core strength. Those people out in the old body working thing, they love it as a bit of an exercise machine. But it's really weird because when you're on the ground, obviously, you take one foot off and you fall down to take a step. Whereas when you're upside down, like the first time I took one foot off, you swung backwards and then you're like, you can't reach up to get it back on again. So I was trying to pull my whole weight up with my knee, which is good because I've got like really bad ligaments in this left knee. And that's why the handles with the switches on this bottom, so I actually have to pull each foot up to make it work. So it kind of makes you look a bit, you can't walk naturally in it. But no, I mean, I was so pleased with that. I literally just walked across the shed roof. Like, how many people have done that? I'd done a bit of research at Google magnetic boots before I'd started it, and only NASA had dabbled in it to try and keep people when they're on the space station so they're not floating around all over the place. Killjoys. But yeah, so yeah, I can't remember what the normal, oh, it's the X, but the X, that's what the X is for, it's for X-Men. Digressed, sorry.
Mr. Furze, what is the worst injury you've ever had?
The worst injury is I got pretty badly burnt. I was making a jet engine out of essentially stuff from home base. I had a turbo off a transit van, and then I wanted to make the combustion chamber, everything else, without using a welder. So I had a bog brush can, which was the flame tube. We had a loo roll holder, which was like the outside bit. And then there was bits off the Hoover, some bits washing machine stuff. It was kind of all chained together, and then a bit of silicone around just to kind of make the gaps up. And in between me test firing it, I'd gone in, had some tea, come back out again, and I'd forgotten I hadn't tightened the nut up on the gas bottle basically. I'd done it up loose, but not tightened it. So I was sitting there. I know this is a bit of a wider story to this. The neighbours were in the garden having like a tea party for some reason, so I thought I'll shut the shed doors, because when this thing starts up, it's going to make a bit of a whistle. So So I had all the shed doors shut, and there I was sitting there blasting the air compressor into it, trying to spool it up. And it wouldn't go. So all this time I was trying to get the thing going. I was basically leaking gas all over the worktop. And I could smell it, but I mean, I knew, you know, you can smell these things anyway, because they do a bit smelly. And then all of a sudden it just went bang, the whole thing went up in my face. And it opened the shed doors, which was, you know, when I went back and looked at the video, I was like, it's over the shed doors. But I remember running outside and I looked at my arm and I could literally move the skin around. All of a night I was like, this is going to hurt in a minute, this is. So I ran upstairs, got in the shower, so I was just like stood there, naked, obviously, I've got my clothes on. And I was like, I was on my own. Mrs. was out shopping, Mum was at home. I thought, I ain't going to ring my mum, because she's scared to death of fire, so she's not going to be any use at all. And I thought, I'll just leave the missus shopping, it's just not worth it. So I thought, what do I do? So I googled it in the shower, what do you do if you really burn yourself? Turns out you wrap cling film around your burn. So I ran downstairs, dripping wet. You try and wrap cling film around your arms if you're completely wet. I'm just getting in a right mess. Trying to just like wrap all this stuff around this wet arm. But it did actually make me feel a little bit better. So then I went back up, dunking my arms in the bath. It's sort of hurting, but not loads, as long as it was in the bathtub. What do I do? I'm not going to ring them. So I just got in the van and literally just drove to the hospital myself and put my arms out the window, keep cooling it down, and I just got into A&E and I just ran up to him and said, look, I don't want to be queuing, literally burnt my arms. And then they saw me and they wrap all this, it's like a foam stuff that they put on you that doesn't actually stick to your skin. And then the most painful bit was like, I couldn't put it in water because I couldn't get it wet. And then she gave me codeine painkillers. There was like 15 minutes I was just walking around A&E with my arms in the air, just making it a little bit better. And then after that, it never ever hurt again. So I set an alarm on my phone, so every 4 hours I take some more painkillers, then 4.5, and then 5 hours, and just gradually weaned myself off them. And it just turned into a big flaky mess, which was, I mean, we all like taking scabs, right? Well, this was just heaven. I got hot, like a bowl of cornflakes. I sit there like, you know, you sit there watching TV, you pick down, and you look down, and you're like, ooh. And you try and get off the chair, and then kind of like, stink. Get it. But yeah, that's the worst. The worst, yeah, is the burns. And it did a little bit on the tip of my nose. If you ever notice on some videos, the tip of my nose is red, that's why. I took the skin off that as well.
Hello, Colin. Me, Tom.
Hello, Tom.
I was just wondering what you want for tea tonight.
I don't know. I think we're going somewhere else, aren't we? Because we're waiting about half an hour to get served in the hotel. So this is Tom. He loves hogging the limelight. He dug the bunker. His farm is where most of the stuff is stored. A lot of people have asked me today where I store everything. I've got like containers in his farmyard. I've got stuff in his barn. I've got things in Mum's garage and shed, and everything's full of stuff. It is a problem, obviously, because I don't take anything for bits. I don't sell anything. So I like to keep hold of it all. Because, you know, I'm very sentimental. I get attached to everything, you know, and I've spent hours and hours working on these things, and to just give them away or dismantle them would just be a crime. So.
Why did you make the bin, and how hard was it? You know that
Why did I make the bin? Why did I make I think the bin came about when I did the TV show. We made this little treasure box thing, which is essentially an electric wheelchair, which had some little servos which controlled the lever on the electric wheelchair. And I remember they rigged it up so you could use the remote control. And I just remember looking at it and thinking, wow, I can put that in anything. So I chose a wheelie bin. And that was it. So I put it in there, and it was quite good because I pranked the dustbin guys as he went to grab it, it moved on. So that's quite cool. But yeah, it was quite. I mean, to be fair, I should have picked something a bit easier because you think, oh yeah, I'll make a wheelie bin and motorise. If you try getting in a wheelie bin and doing any work, it's really difficult.
To your left.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hello. My question to you is, as an influencer, it's a noun, what would you say to the youth of today, my son, people of that generation, who've seen you as a crazy person doing some amazing inventions, just really just want to inspire this age group to progress?
What do I want them to get into engineering, or do I want them to be in what sense to how to get into
making, inventing, creating? It's really how would you motivate them?
I think we live in quite a strange time really, because it's never been a better time to make stuff, because we've got brilliant tools now which are getting a lot cheaper. You know, 3D printers, the CAD stuff, you know, you can design stuff on your phones, and then you've got even simple things like Amazon. You know, you can order components, you know, while you're eating your tea, and they'll turn up the next day. Whereas if you think like 10 years ago, you'd be driving around, you know, shops trying to get stuff, look stuff. It's so good to make things these days. Yeah, schools have, you know, over the last 10, 20 years or whatever, their workshops have got less and less and less because of health and safety. Because I mean, even when I was at school, we had lathes, we had this metal foundry, but we never used it. Because, you know, they couldn't be doing with 16-year-old crazy kids like me running around, you know, trying to use machines. But well, we need to do that, and it is good, you know, seeing parents coming up and saying, oh, you know, my kids have watched your videos and now they want to get in the shed and tinker around stuff. So we just need to encourage it more, because we don't do practical stuff like we used to. And, you know, and we are stuck on screens, you know, playing PlayStations and stuff like that. But there is kind of a link, because one can lead on to the other. But it's just, you know, it's all right designing stuff on the computer, but then we need the skills to be able to take it off the screen and make it reality. So I think we should be encouraging this more, and, you know, pushing people to be more practical. And I hope my videos do that. It wasn't what I set out to do originally, but it has become a byproduct of what I've done, and it's why I did the book. And if anyone's seen my book, you know, this book isn't safe, it's all available on Amazon. But that's full of little projects for kids to do and people to do. And I looked at every project and thought, if you were somebody that didn't have any, you know, a lot of money and you lived in a high-rise flat in the middle of a city, could you still build some of these things? There's no excuse that, you know, we don't have the space or anything to do it. So I tried to look at every single part of what's in that book and made it cheap and accessible to everybody. So, because once you start making stuff, you build confidence and then you'll be off.
Why do you always wear a shirt and tie?
Well, tie is really not the best thing to wear in a workshop, I do know that. This all came from the Wall of Death video, which was one of my earliest projects. The moped which I rode the Wall of Death on. When I first bought it like a year before, I just thought it looked like something an old granddad would ride. It was like a horrible beige colour, like something I'd been smoking at it for 50 years. And I thought, I can't ride that without looking like an old man. So I used to have these Greek cords, a shirt and tie, and this jacket. And then when we built the Wall of Death and I decided to use that bike, I thought, oh, I can't ride with moped without sticking my granddad outfit on. So I did that, and then everyone was like on the comments, oh, he's not wearing a helmet. And then of course, you know, people were like, he doesn't need a helmet, he's got a shirt and tie on. And I kind of thought, it's quite funny really, quite like that. So I just stuck with it, and then back then, you know, the internet was, I suppose it was a smaller place, but it wasn't as used as much, and I kind of thought, well, if I do all these projects and I always wear the same clothes, then if you see something on a different space or a different platform somewhere, you might go, oh, that's the guy who did that other thing. So if I wear the same clothes all the time, I'll get noticed. So that's where it come from, really. I mean, maybe I should have picked something a little bit more stylish, but I can't undo it now. So that's it. This is the Colin Furze look, which I think, is it PUG Underground, whatever the game's called? The guy on the front cover of that is like some guy all tooled up, and he's got a shirt and tie. I think they owe me some royalties.
What other creator would you like to work with?
What other creator? I was going to do something with Alex Steele, but then he decided that American was better. So that's made that a lot trickier. But I wanted to do some other Wolverine claws where he actually, you know, he blacksmithed the blades properly, because the blades on the Wolverine claws are literally just stripped of stainless steel, so they're not sharp, they're not hardened or anything like that. So I think if I work with people in a video, I always like them to bring a skill which I can't do, so it's not just two people doing something similar just because they've got the same audience or whatever. So yeah, Alec would have been top of the list. So, but there is some of a British blacksmithers around, so we'll have to do it.
What was your fastest project?
The fastest project's the Dodger. So I've had 110 miles an hour out of the Dodgem, which was the fastest we ever had. So I think Stig managed 107, which he doesn't like me telling him. So, but yeah, it's definitely the Dodgem. I think it could potentially go a little bit quicker as well. There's a bit of a grumbling bit in the mid-range. It doesn't run very well. He's putting on a rolling road, but then if you bring anyone up with a dyno and say, I've got a Dodgem, can you come and set it up there a bit like, I don't think that's going to fit on it, mate. So, but no, the Dodgem definitely, that's the quickest. Sounds awesome as well.
I think we're overdoing it a bit, but I think
Is the last one?
Yeah, I guess so.
Following the health and safety thing, have you ever been sued?
I've never been sued. I hope I don't get sued. I don't know, it's kind of weird really. I mean, obviously, with the internet's getting a bigger place now, there are more rules and regulations starting to come in. I mean, this Article 13 thing, which has been talked about so much with all the copyrights and using other people's, images and stuff like that, whether health and safety and stuff will, because TV, obviously, when they do stuff, they've got different guidelines, whether that will ever come into the internet, I don't know. But I mean, I just think, it's kind of common sense and self, if you think something's going to happen, then either don't do it, or whatever. I mean, obviously, I have teared down the runway, God knows what miles an hour without any helmet on, but no one else is in danger other than me, so it's all my own doing. When I filmed the hover bike, like Ricky filmed it, I had full leathers and a helmet on, because if I crashed it and the props smashed, they're all going outwards, and I had polycarb, like shield sort of thing, potentially whether it worked or not, I don't know, but he was in theory in more danger than me. So I always make sure that everyone else is covered sort of thing. But I don't do anything in public, because nobody will let me. So, but yeah, please don't sue me.
Hi Colin, on the sort of health and safety side of things, how many near misses have you had with your tie getting caught in things, getting caught on fire, anything along those sorts of lines?
It's never got tangled in anything. It has got burned. This is the third time, by the way. There's been 3. The first one got lost in Italy in a hotel room. So if there's any Italian people out there that found a tie, I think in about 2010, it's mine. And then the second one just got so stinky and manky and got on the toilet, it just smelled. I thought, I can't. I had to go on this TV show, sort of thing, and I just looked down on it and thought, this isn't funny anymore, this is just disgusting. So then I got the new one. Well, I've got 7 shirts. So I've got 7 shirts. I've got 3 short sleeve and 4 long sleeve. But no, it's when I'm working on the lathe, I do tuck it right in or I take it off. But so far, it needs to be a quick release one, really. There you go.
All right.
Oh, we've got one more thing.
I know.
We've got there's Colin Furze t-shirts and jumpers available now. So these are available on my store. Do you want to hold them out properly, Tom? Because I'm wearing white coat. We've got the wonderful Airfix kit jumper, which has got all your bullshits and bits and bobs. And then there's a t-shirt, it's got the logo, the Furze Army written on the back. Yeah, this is the first day they've been able to buy them. You can't even get them online yet. They're all for sale down there on the end. And Tom, if you want to chuck them into the crowd, so give these ones away. Why do I ask you to do anything? But yeah, you took a little getting sued, didn't the guy that's... Thank you very much for coming. I hope you've enjoyed the whole show.
Thanks a lot,